Ripple XRP is on the move, and there is a large amount of new address activity spikes, some of the largest in history on XRP and Ripple's network. Very interesting. Let's talk about that today. All right, guys, welcome back to the Blockhash podcast channel. Let's talk crypto. Make sure to check out our sponsor, Pika Crypto. They are revolutionizing the intersection between blockchain and the gaming industry. Check them out in the description below. And if you want chart analysis Monday through Friday and you want to see what's going on in the markets, make sure to check out our Patreon also down below in the description. All right, so let's see what's going on with XRP and the entire Ripple network. Obviously, since we've had an agreement between Senator McCarthy and Biden on a tentative deal for the debt ceiling being raised this week, XRP has been a bit on the move. There's also been a lot of speculation that this case might be wrapping up very soon with the SEC because CEO Brad Garlinghouse has come out and said that he thinks it's going to end soon and that it's going to be very favorable for Ripple, that they're pretty much going to win. And they're also out acquiring shit like crazy and moving around and making waves in the industry like they're not even being sued by the SEC. It's pretty crazy. So I want to read through this and then we'll check out the chart and see what's going on with XRP. So amid the majority of the crypto market that has been recuperating from the post-Memorial Day weekend, XRP has continued with price gains as the bulls are beating down the bears, reaching 50 cents again. And at the same time, the XRP network has been recording massive spikes in address activity and mild decoupling from the rest of the altcoin market, which is another fascinating metric. But there's an interesting correlation between these spikes in address activity, especially the largest ones in history that they're having, and what that means for a bullish rally potentially in the XRP token. Looking at analytics from Sentiment on May 30th, specifically on May 27th, there were around 490,000 addresses that were interacting on the network in what was the second largest address activity day in the chain's history on May 27th. It's crazy, just 3 days ago. Followed by another day, huge spike on May 28th, just 2.5 months after its largest ever address activity spike, preceded a 45% price surge. So if you look at the price history here and the surge in XRP price, look at the address activity preceding this. It's like people are opening new addresses or getting old addresses active again for the purpose of accumulation. And this popped and it happened. And then, it kind of died off for a little bit over a month or so. And then it started popping up again, but a little bit more consistently over like 3 days. And look, the price is moving again. It's very fascinating. This is the 490,000 addresses that are interacting on the network. The analytics platform's team explained that a mild 4+% decoupling has emerged between XRP and the altcoin market. And if history repeats itself from the March 18th activity spike, it could go a hell of a lot more. It's exchanging hands at about 50 cents right now. We're going to look at the chart in just a second. And right now, over the last 24 hours, if you're watching this video, it might be a day late. If you watch this on Patreon, then you got it up to date, which is the benefit of joining the Patreon. You get this stuff immediately when it comes out. You don't get anything delayed. A legal expert and prominent commentator on the lawsuit between the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and blockchain company Ripple, John Deaton, expressed his surprise as investors overlooking the chance to buy XRP at the time low price of 48 cents. It was much lower. It went all the way down close to 40 cents. Now, let's just jump to the chart. I think you guys are going to want to see what's going on here. This is a pretty sizable move, and it's picking up steam. So in May, the whole market pulled back. There's a bit of capitulation, and we came back down to 40 cents. And this was their inflection zone. In this zone, usually we have a big swath of buying that comes in, as we did in mid-March, or we have a ceiling or a floor, depending on how far back you want to go. Like, this is a very interesting level for XRP. And we came down I drew a trend line of higher lows, thinking that maybe we'd hold this, and we did, which is great news. And then our trend line of lower highs, it just popped through a few days ago, right before Memorial Weekend kicked off on Friday, the 26th of May. And since then, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid green days in a row running here, breaking this trend line. This trend line's invalidated, does not exist anymore, but we'll leave it here to measure, because what I'm curious about, if we zoom out, is this going to be enough for XRP to not only just come back and retest 55, 56, this ceiling that it's having a hard time getting out of, but it's accumulated higher. It's been marching higher ever since June of last year, very slowly, and it just made a huge, it's got some traction now as of May, early May, first, second week of May, substantiating a new bottom where this former ceiling was. And if you follow my chart analysis, when you substantiate a former ceiling as a new bottom, that's a good sign of a bull market. And opposite in bear markets, when there's former floors established as new ceilings, that's bearish. So this is a very bullish sign. And I'm starting to wonder, could the news be true? Could XRP really win the case with the SEC, or get some really positive news out of it, or maybe a settlement or something that substantiates that it's not a security? This thing's going to pop off like crazy. It will run fast. It really will. It's got resistance up here. Look, even at its highest mark, 58 cents, it's got a former ceiling at 58 cents, more or less, if you don't count these wicks to 55. So this range is going to be very tough to get through, but once it does, it's going to jump very close to $1. So that's worth keeping an eye on. And the address activity is very promising. That means that no matter the fact that it's hard to find a place to buy XRP right now, because a lot of exchanges had to delist it back in 2020, there are still a lot of people that are finding ways to buy it and that are accumulating it. And they're calling this, bottom for XRP. And this movement is very strong. We're seeing volume start to come back in, which is good. But on the plus side, we look at the Bollinger Bands. We are through the Bollinger Bands, another bullish sign. We actually back tested right before Memorial Day and held the moving average and went right through the Bollinger Band. So that's a very good sign. And if you look at the moving average, all the moving averages, XRP has retested these, especially the 100-day, and bounced and is well above those. That's another bullish sign. There will be some people here on YouTube that will analyze this and think that this is just going to come back down, that we're going to have some kind of situation where we came down, we have a little bit of pop-up, but we capitulate more. Maybe it looks like something like this for a while. That could be the case, but honestly, given the hype and given the fact that this is a much higher low than before, and we bounce very strongly off of this, and given how oversold and shorted this market has been by bears, and given the potential that news could come out any day, I do think there's a good chance this runs. Like, finally, I really do. I think there's a good chance we come up and we tap in this region. We have a pullback to retest maybe the 50-cent level as a floor, and then we go. By the time we get into mid-July, I think that is more likely, in my opinion. I could definitely be wrong. It's just my opinion. On the RSI, we got way oversold. And yeah, we popped up. And right now we're pulling this line up pretty quickly. So we could get overbought here any day now. And it might want to correct back down. So keep an eye on, if you guys are trying to take positions in here, try not to buy right into this FOMO. See if it pulls back if you're going to take a position, because once this gets overbought and we get closer and closer to the mid 50-cent range, it'll definitely pull back. That's just how things work. And the RSI really does not lie, especially for peaks when it gets overbought. So keep an eye on that RSI. Usually doesn't lie. In terms of things in the news that could be coming out, there's the JOLTS job openings coming out tomorrow, expected to be slightly lower. ISM manufacturing, unemployment rate will be important. That's going to be up a little bit. I think the biggest thing also that we've kind of put to the side at the moment is if the Fed decides to pause on rates, that'll be another catalyst going into the summer. Can we get at least one fucking pause on rates? That'll help crypto. That'll definitely help crypto too. So XRP's in a really good position. Really interesting to see how the chart is moving so strongly and has decoupled from the rest of the market. Even XLM, which usually runs pretty well with XRP, is not really holding a candle to this move that XRP is having. So a lot of this is solely in XRP. So if you're part of the XRP army out there, you're probably very happy today. All right, guys, that's it for today. Please like the video, comment your thoughts down below on Ripple and what you're seeing, what you think is going to happen. Share this with somebody. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you do, really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Cheers.